What is up, guys? So, last night, for the first time in a very long time, I went through the arcade mode of Street Fighter Alpha 3, right? I was trying to beat an old Xism score with Ryu. Well, long story short, I did beat it, but I hadn't seen Ryu's ending in so long that I sat there and watched it, and I realized something that's brilliant about this ending. So, and I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about it. So I realized how awesome of a parallel this ending is to explaining how a fighting game player's mentality evolves over time. How we all face certain things and have certain issues, and the different types of people we meet that result in us improving. So right here, Bison. Bison represents your current skill hump, right? Your plateau, you know, if you feel that way. Especially if you're an intermediate player in a fighting game, where you feel like you're stuck, right? You can't get past this, whether it's an execution barrier or neutral or something, your ability to adapt to certain situations and things like that. That's what Bison represents in this ending. Okay, so this Psycho Ball right here that Bison just shot, it represents all of your negative feelings toward yourself and your play, and the feeling of, man, I'm never going to get better at this fighting game. Holy shit, disappointment in yourself and everything. That's what the Psycho Shot represents. And this right here is how you feel when you let it hit you, right? It's like, oh man, I'm just not getting any better. This is awful. I used to do really, really well. Now I'm playing way better people that are just picking me apart and showing me exactly what all my problems are, and I can't see it. It's just too hard for me, right? Okay, now Chun-Li here kind of represents the people that you think care. The imaginary audience that is behind the scenes of every match you're ever fighting, judging every single move you make. What's happening down there? You know, these people don't actually exist when you're in that match. But you imagine that Chun-Li is watching everything that you're doing in the middle of a match and judging the shit out of you for your mistakes. She's not. But that's who this represents, right? Now this is your salt. This is your rage. This is the thing that stops you from improving. This is the thing that gets in the way once you let all those negative feelings take over about your gameplay. Your most destructive mentality towards yourself and towards others if you're not careful. The Darkado, right? Perfect representation. And you gotta fight it. You gotta fight that. You gotta fight the salt. Is this my true nature? No, it's not. You're not a salty person. You're not a rager. You hate people like that. You don't want to do this. This is not who you are as a fighting game player. And if you're not careful, it gets to this point. It wants me to destroy everything, you know. Chuck that controller, man. Yeah, this is a destructive mentality. Everyone at some point will experience it, I promise. This is the important part, because this is freaking awesome, okay? So Sagat. Sagat is the player who used to kick your ass all the time when you were first starting playing fighting games, or a fighting game, or whatever. This is the guy that just whooped on you constantly. He was your first big win. It's the first person that you finally beat that you thought you could never beat, just because you improved some, and you gained his respect. He's one of the most important people you'll ever encounter in fighting games. A Rose. This bitch right here, this is that person that you play against. Whether they win or lose, they're gonna give you advice, whether you want it or not. They're gonna give you advice about your neutral, they're gonna tell you about your habits. They're frame data experts. They're going to tell you exactly why you were getting hit. At first, this person may come off as just a know-it-all or being really smug or whatever, but that's not their intention, right? This is someone who really wants to. They have a wealth of all kinds of knowledge up here, and it's just natural for them to unload it on you to help you out. The Rose representation, pretty dang important as well. Chun-Li in this flashback is the person who wants to watch your progress with interest. They want to see how good you're going to get. They see potential in you. They want to see, you know, your market improvement over time. They're interested. They are, I wouldn't say a fan, but they enjoy watching you improve. And that's a very important person too in your fighting game journey, right? Now Sakura represents the player who used to be you. This person just wants to have fun playing a fighting game. They have not gotten deep enough into it to understand the intricacies. They haven't gotten deep enough into it to understand what even their goals are. They have a lot of fun playing against you. because you're their Sagat now. Now they want you to be their first big win, and they will play you until the sun comes up. They'll take losses like champs. They'll keep coming at you and coming at you because they're learning a ton from every match that you play. And you're going to not only be the Sagat for this person, but you're most likely going to be the Chun-Li for this person if you relate to them at all. You're going to watch their improvement with interest because you were a big part of it. This is the big one, right? This is the guy, whether it's somebody online or whether it's somebody in person, that just always destroys you. They are the person you want to be as good as this person. The most powerful techniques, the most optimal things, and showing you, hey, you're gonna have to deal with this, and I want you to fight me until you learn, right? That's this guy. Like Akuma, he's probably the prime candidate for inciting rage in you, right? He's going to show you exactly what you're lacking. And a fight with this guy is where knowledge checks come in big time. Unless you were listening to the Rose representation of the person telling you why this works and this doesn't and all this stuff. When you fight this guy, he's going to just crush you. So then you got to think back to, oh yeah, that person who had all this information, I bet they have some advice about this. Akuma represents the ultimate challenge, the top level player that we all want to be. And Ken, of course, represents your training partner. Someone at your level. You have improved together, you go back and forth in matches, and every time you're done, it feels good. Every time you play against this person, they make you better, you feel like you help them get better, you talk about it, and you improve together. And it's good to have someone like that as a comparison. If you can keep up with this person, as you're both at the same level, learning at the same rate, if you can keep up with them, that means that you're on the right path to getting better at a fighting game. So after remembering all of this stuff, and that negative psycho ball energy that came at you, that hit you and made you salty, and then you take a step back and you think about all of the matches you've had, all the great people you've met along the way. It might be an anime storyline, you know, it's the friends we made along the way, but it's kind of true when it comes to fighting game. You think back to all of these, all of your hard-fought victories and your hard-taken losses, you know, you think about all this. You look at how you used to be, how your play has improved. And you have to remember also that this current level you're at, the person who was you a couple of years ago, a few months ago, the Sakura representation, the person who just got into this fighting game to press buttons and have fun, would never dream of being able to be at the level you are at currently, fighting against some really good players, and you're holding your own, going toe-to-toe with some actually pretty decent players. This is just a representation of you saying, I'm not going to let my negative feelings affect my play. I'm going to go back, I'm going to hit training mode, I'm going to frickin' figure this shit out, and I'm going to overcome this obstacle that's standing in my way. You pick yourself up, you throw a Shoryuken at it, and you fucking do it. It's over. Your negative emotions that were so strong before, that literally were about to send you into a huge fit of rage, are now pushed back, calm, and you say, okay, let's chill the fuck out. And then, of course, the most iconic image probably in fighting game history. You move on from there to the next challenge, to the next Bison. It's never over for us. We're all Ryu, and we're always going to keep improving, and we're never going to let salt and anger take us over. We're always going to keep developing our playstyle, incorporate new techniques, and just our knowledge is just going to grow and grow and grow. There's always going to be this walk into the sunset. After every one of those achievements, there's always going to be something else on the horizon that we have to deal with as fighting game players. You're always going to have an obstacle, and as long as you remember everything that you've dealt with along the way, you'll deal with that too, I promise. And this is why we're all Ryu. We are all the world warrior, and that's why this ending is so freaking brilliant, really. Because this wasn't just a storyline about Ryu. This was literally talking to the player. Like, dude, that's you. That's the fighting game player in you. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that because it hit me when I was watching his ending last night. I'm like, dang, dude, this is a really good parallel to a fighting game player's journey of learning a game and getting better. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought it was fun. It was a neat little thought experiment for everybody. So, whenever you're feeling down, just think about Ryu's Street Fighter Alpha 3 ending and move on, man. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.